Here now is Mark Kane from the SE Group.
Thank you, Ned. I want to say thank you for everybody coming today. This is a great turnout. As Ned pointed out, we are in the process of starting to gather information for this project, and as many of you may have already done, there is a survey that's available both in terms of hard copy and online as well. The directions for using the online survey were included in the newsletter that you received recently. And I want to, at this point, as of today, or as of actually a Friday, we have about 350 or so respondents on the survey already, which is actually a very good response at this point in time. We're very encouraged by that. What I want to do today is Claire Humber and I will sort of walk through what all this stuff around us is for. And the overall premise is that today is about trying to get some additional input from the membership about the issues, the concerns, the opportunities, the challenges that this master plan that we're working towards should consider. I also want to stress that the process that we're in this master plan will consider all of these various things, not as a laundry list of everything that should happen, but as part of the process that we're going to go through in terms of understanding, are they financially sound? Are they operationally sound? Are they physically possible? Because a lot of these ideas and suggestions, some of which were included in the survey for feedback, and some of which may come out of discussions today and subsequent days, may be very good ideas as part of a long-term master plan, but there has to be this underpinning of reality to it and sustainability to it, because we realize, and our experience has indicated, that a good master plan for an association like this needs to be grounded in reality at some point. And I want to stress that because it really is important. You guys live here. You want to make sure that you can continue to live here, and that the qualities and the things that make Quechee the place you've chosen to be stay there, but are sustainable for the long term. Can we look at the next slide, please? So there's a series of 4 boards over here which outline the master plan process as we've articulated it through the SPC. It consists of 4 basic parts to our process. And project scoping, which is the first process we went through, actually was to help us derive how this process was going to unfold. And we've actually completed this first phase, working with the Strategic Planning Committee, SPC, and really this open house is the culmination of that process. It's to initiate this next section of the process, which I'll describe in a moment. It was really important to do this, and as Ned pointed out, we went through an interview process with the SPC, and really as part of that interview process, we learned an awful lot about Quechee, and we're learning more every minute of every day as we work on this project. We learned an awful lot about Quechee. We learned an awful lot about the issues that have been raised in the past, and the SPC has been kind enough to share a lot of those issues with us so that we are somewhat understanding of the things that have been raised in the past or concerns that have been raised in the past. And that's helped us strategize a process that we're entering that really is heavy on input from the membership early on in this process. It's very important to get the feedback that people need to have in terms of where this club should go, where the organization should go. Next slide. So today, as of today, we're really in the inventory and analysis phase. And this part of the process really consists of gathering a diversity of information about the membership. Certainly the survey is a big part of that. As you can see on to the right over here, there's some mapping that's been going on. This mapping has been collected from data that's been available from the town, data that's been available from the state, data that's been available from engineering firms. There's a lot more mapping that we actually have and we're starting to compile through. And the point of this information is to help us understand spatially what this place looks like. This is a very large property. It's a very diverse property. There's a lot of grade, there's a lot of terrain, there's a lot of open space, there's a lot of vacant land. There's a very big diversity of housing. There's a very, very big diversity of pattern of development. And it's very important that we understand that, try to understand that as we move forward. So this mapping is part of our strategy towards getting to that point. We are also going to be doing a series of communication steps. Those are articulated basically in this corner of the room. And they include things like focus groups. And these open houses and the survey, and there's an email address, QLLA masterplanning@segroup.com, which has been listed in the newsletter. It's also available on this board. And that's an email address that goes directly to us. And if anybody has any comments, questions, issues, concerns, anything, that can go directly to us, and that doesn't go through anybody else. So we actually see that. And that's an important part of this. We want to make sure that there's as much communication as possible. So we're collecting that information as well, and that outreach part of this is really a key component. The other aspect of this is to actually start to have some discussions with the facilities folks here and the operational folks. So Ken actually has a lot of knowledge about the association, the land, what's happened in the past, what is the issues from an operational perspective. It's very important that we understand that, as well as the Finance Committee and all the other committees, where we can actually start to understand what the issues are that have been discussed in the past and how they relate to this overarching master planning process. As I point out, the data collection is ongoing. We are going to be looking for more and more data. We have a growing database of information in terms of who the membership are, demographically speaking, where they live. The information is actually all publicly available, and everything's kept sort of anonymous. But the idea is to understand the pattern of development and where things have developed, where things haven't developed. Clearly, the undeveloped tracts of land, some of which are in the hands of the association, some of which are still controlled by the developer, is also important for us to understand, because that obviously is something that is ongoing. Financial and demographic data are also part of the process of data collection as we're into right now, and that will be collected in terms of both QLLA financial information, so we understand, for example, what is the price structure of membership here in terms of assessment? How does that relate to what you get for those assessments? That's a very important understanding from our perspective. We need to understand the costs associated with being here. We're also looking at the market, and both internally and externally. How much of these activities, these recreational activities, are being used? How much of them are being used? How much do we want to be used in the future? What is the trend towards the market of these various activities? Is it increasing regionally, nationally, or is it decreasing regionally, nationally? Because obviously the membership composition at Koichi has changed since its inception in the 70s, and it's evolving over time. And this step, as we're entering now, is important for us to understand where the trends are going forward, so that we can provide some insight to the club association as it moves forward. Key issues, opportunities, and constraints are basically the result of what this analysis process really wants to identify. What are the key things that are constraining the development of the club and the association going forward? What are the things that are constraining activities? What are the things that are opportunities for future activities? And basically, what are the issues that members really see as important? And as Ned indicated earlier, our job is not to simply compile this laundry list of all these different things. It's to take that laundry list and filter it through both our professional experience nationally and regionally, as well as to understand sort of the operational, the physical, the market, the financial, and the legal. In some cases, Act 250 plays a key role here, to understand what can happen. Because there may be a lot of very good ideas, a lot of very good suggestions that come out of this process, but some of which may not be physically possible because of limitations of the site, of the terrain, the land. Some of which may not be possible because of the market implications of that idea. Some of them may not be possible because of the legal issues associated with it. You can't get a permit for it, for example. So it's really important that in this analysis process that we start to look at those things, and this is the phase we're in at this moment in time.